Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're 2 days out from the anniversary of the revolution that created the constitutional republic, which for all intents and purposes, this may be one of the last true 4th of Julys we have when there is even any vestige, any sliver, any crumbs or scraps of this nation's sovereignty that is left intact. It's very, very sad to see the republic falling. So I want to, today, later in the show, and tomorrow, I will be live. Seems like everybody I know in other businesses are shut down the day before 4th of July, I guess, because the 4th doesn't fall during the week. But we will be live here tomorrow. And I want to discuss some today and open the phones up what the constitutional republic means to you versus living under a global corporate empire, a global corporate tyranny, a world government administered by a bunch of control freak eugenicists. And how do we restore the republic? 1-800-259-9231 is the toll-free number to join us, and we'll take calls in this hour, the second hour, the third hour, the fourth hour. You know, I normally have Wayne Madsen on every 2, 3, 4 months, but lately he's been coming on every few weeks because he's breaking so many huge news stories. And I've also found over the years that Wayne is a very good source. In fact, I've never seen him be wrong on a host of issues. And he called the fact day one that the swine flu was manufactured. That's now mainstream media, even admitting that. And just a lot of other big reports that he's broken. He went on Russia Today again, and he's actually a contributor on. He's a contributor on quite a few different TV programs here in the United States and worldwide, and talked about a secret document he's seen, a source he's talked to, confirming that Taliban were brought into the United States-controlled areas of Iraq to kill U.S. forces. Now, that sounds just absolutely amazing. It sounds like wild baloney. It sounds like, well, more than baloney, it sounds like BS. There's just no other word to describe it. But it's not when you know the history and the facts. So I called him this morning on short notice. He gets off the subway in about 30 minutes. He's in D.C., and he'll join us via cell phone for about 10 minutes to break this down. And then I got Paul Watson coming on because my film Terror Storm, made in 2006, Terror Storm, a history of government-sponsored terror, happens to have the government documents and mainstream news articles. Mainstream news articles admitting that British SAS, or the Armed Special Air Services of MI6, their frontline covert commandos, Delta Force is the same strata. The Delta Force squadrons here in the United States are the U.S. doppelganger or copy of the British model. The Israelis imitate the British SAS as well. It's kind of the mark to meet in special forces, in intelligence, saboteur, hit team commandos, were caught machine gunning Iraqi troops, U.S. troops, sniping at British troops in fake beards. And I want to go over the scores of confirmed cases where the United States, Israel, Germany, England, and others have been caught staging terror attacks against our own forces. If you have a son or daughter killed in Iraq, there's a very good chance they were blown to bits by CIA. For some stations that just joined us, it, of course, is Thursday, July 2nd, 2009. Coming up, we've got investigative journalist Wayne Madsen popping in again today, dealing with Taliban Al Qaeda being shipped in to Iraq to kill U.S. troops and other coalition forces as a pretext to keep U.S. military forces in Iraq. This has actually been confirmed by the Times of London and London Guardian that British SAS, Special Air Services, was caught attacking and killing Iraqi forces, coalition forces. And so we'll be breaking all of that down, this history of the war machine even staging military attacks against itself when there are none. See, their war machine business has to have wars. And so they go out and create the enemies. They come out and finance the terrorist. This is not my opinion. Haaretz, Jerusalem Post, UPI, AP, you can just Google, you can just search engine, fake Al Qaeda or Israel-founded Hamas, and you'll be reading Jewish newspapers. This is not Alex Jones saying this. Now, there are real terror groups. That's why they founded Hamas, to counterbalance Hezbollah, playing the Shiite off against the Sunni off against the Shiite. The Muslim extremist, Wahhabists, are the favorites of British intelligence. They've been working with them for hundreds of years. Out of what is Saudi Arabia today, the British government set up the House of Saudi, famous case of Lawrence of Arabia, but they were there hundreds of years before that working with them. They're in the key caravan routes. This is how empires work. And many of the Muslim extremists out on jihadi, when they blow themselves up, have no idea it's all part of the great game. But they're being handled by imams that are actually on British intelligence, U.S. intelligence, Israeli intelligence payroll. But this is how the cloak and dagger sophistication operates. This is where these religious zealots, useful idiots, come in handy. So they've used the Muslim extremists to attack the Serbs. When the Serbs defended themselves, they were demonized internationally and then invaded and blown to bits and a new government installed. And I'm not taking sides on Muslim, Croat, Serb. I'm simply stating admitted fact. I always get threats from Croats and Muslims when I talk about the Serbs defending themselves. I mean, the Serbs certainly ran around and engaged in ethnic cleansing as well. But if you look at the UN's own numbers, they admit the Croats killed more Serbs than Serbs killed Croats. But I'm not Croat, I'm not Serb. Okay? I don't have a dog in this fight, as they say, a dog in the hunt. I'm just stating facts. They use the KLA, CIA-funded congressional reports. Alphonse D'Amato's Senate report admits all of this on record. They used the Muslim extremists, the Wahhabists, jihadis brought in 79 to attack the Russian-backed government in Afghanistan on record. Brzezinski wrote a book last year bragging about it. We talked about it before. He'd blabbed. They're proud of themselves. Of course, he also brags how the U.S. funded Pol Pot that killed 3 million people, 30% of the population in Cambodia. I mean, this is absolutely sickening, disgusting behavior that is going on. And they use the Muslim extremists to overthrow nations or destabilize nations in Africa, in Asia. They have CIA front newspapers put out Muhammad cartoons making fun of him with a bomb on his head and other things, and then hype up a few controlled Muslim groups to start the riots. The Euro trash then all get out in the streets and riot right along with it. Then Europe gets Muslim-phobe and Islam-phobe and goes along with crackdown police state systems. They bring in Sarkozy, but don't stop pumping in the Muslims at record rates. It's a dialectic. They control both sides. They control the synthesis. So that is coming up with Wayne Madsen and Paul Watson in T-minus about 16 minutes here today. And Kurt Nimmo wrote a great story 2 days ago when this was first on Russia Today, and I kind of missed it. Kurt Nimmo, Paul Watson, Steve Watson, Aaron Dykes write so many great articles that I miss some of them. So I hope you don't miss them every day up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But here is the story that Kurt did. Paul Watson's beefing it up kind of with some of the history of all the mainstream media admissions, government admissions of, oh, yeah, the SAS was out staging as terrorists, shooting coalition forces and bombing coalition forces, dressed up like Muslims with fake beards and turbans on their heads. They got caught doing it, and then British troops attacked the official Iraqi jail run by the coalition, killing a bunch of people to get them out. So we'll go over some of that report coming up. It's titled, Madsen, Taliban imported to conduct false flag terrorism in Iraq. And that's a good headline, but to really get people's attention in the full magnitude, I would have said